prior to liftoff, the launch vehicle will be powered and fueled. The mobile service tower will be rolled back. Orion will be activated. And then at 6:05 Central Time, we'll lift off from Cape Canaveral. The Delta IV Heavy and its 3 liquid boosters will take us out of the Earth's atmosphere. And roughly 3.5 minutes into the mission, the liquid boosters will separate. The core will shut down. The liquid core will shut down about 4 minutes into the mission, and then the upper stage will ignite. After the upper stage ignition, the service module fairings will separate, and the launch abort system will be jettisoned, and Orion will continue its climb to orbit. We'll achieve orbital insertion about 17 minutes into the mission, and we'll begin our first lap around the Earth. At 1 hour and 55 minutes into the mission, we'll do our stage 2 burn tube, and that'll set up that high Earth orbit as well as our entry interface. During that time frame, we'll be in a barbecue roll, which is rotating about the long axis, and we'll pass up through the Van Allen radiation belts, a period where we expect to see elevated radiation, and we may see some effects on some of our electronics that Mark Geyer briefed earlier. At apogee, we'll see the Earth from 3,600 miles up out the hatch window. It'll be about the size of a 6-foot disc held at arm's length at that point. And then we'll come back around and separate Orion from the service module in the upper stage. We'll activate the attitude control system, orient the heat shield forward, and then Orion will begin its trial by fire. During the re-entry, the plasma outside the heat shield could see temperatures up to 4,000 degrees Fahrenheit. After the peak heating period, the heat shield is no longer required. So at that point, we'll jettison the forward bay cover, which is a heat shield that covers up the parachute system, and then begin the parachute's deploy sequence. At that point, Orion will start to drift down on some pilot chutes, and then 3 main parachutes will be deployed. They will slowly unfurl to provide a measured deceleration on the vehicle, and then they'll finally achieve their full open state, leading up to splashdown in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of the Baja. After we splash down, we'll keep the spacecraft powered up to gather some data using the flight instrumentation. We expect some amount of heat from the reentry to soak back into the structure, and we want to understand and characterize the cabin environment before we put our astronauts in there to understand just how hot it's going to be in the cabin. The crew module uprighting system will inflate and, if necessary, upright the crew module, leading up to the recovery operation. After we power down the spacecraft, I'll call Jeremy Graber on the recovery ship and let him know the health and status of the spacecraft. And then once we've verified that the health and status is safe on the spacecraft, the recovery forces will come in and recover it. Some small boats will be deployed, and then they'll begin a towing operation into the well deck of the recovery ship. This mission is significant in that it enables human spaceflight to deep space and to destinations that we have yet to have imagined.